it's Friday! It's Screen Junkies Universe, and I, for one, am very excited about that because it means I have no work the next 2 days.
Oh, so that's even today. I was like, I think you do, Roth.
You're done.
What kind of arrangement do you have?
Well, if you want to call this work, because we're going to be talking about a penis on a superhero's costume. So if we want to call that work, we're more than welcome to. I'm Roth Cornet. Dan Murrell is here, and he's very happy today.
Yes, I am, Roth.
Joe Starr.
Also happy.
And I am so happy to welcome for the very first time, you've never been on the show before, Ed Greer. Hello.
Hello,
Welcome.
and thank you all. I've seen you guys, and I've been on shows with you, and I've been on comedy shows with you, and different things, and now it's all coming together. It's coalescing.
It's coalescing, and it's on a very important day, guys. We like to keep Fridays light, but there is some pretty big news on Twitter today that we're going to need to discuss.
Pretty heavy
so,
news.
yeah,
Heavy.
Everybody sit down.
Only the seriousest news is here on SJ News.
Serious news.
What is JTE doing? He's
Why are you
literally...
on the ground?
He's just crawling on the ground.
JTE just crawled on the floor and is all the way behind our...
Completely unplugged. The table all the way over here.
Joe's mic is unplugged completely.
Welcome to the epicenter of
Oh, wow.
professionalism. That is Screen Junkies News.
You're not getting it.
Just forget it.
No, you are me crawl everywhere from now on. What?
Wave to the audience.
Where did I get the mic?
I think we should work this out later.
Oh, I see. There's a
GT.
microphone here.
No, I give up.
This wasn't plugged in.
There's a microphone
Don't
here.
put this on me. You set the table up.
Everybody, does everyone need to go down one
Everybody needs to
microphone?
push their mic
Okay,
to the
here we
right.
go.
But I like this one. I've gotten used to it.
You know, we bring company over, and
This is embarrassing, you
this is
guys.
why we
Come
can't have
on.
nice
No,
things.
conversely, I feel responsible on some level. I feel like I'm the X factor, and now it's all messed up.
Oh no, this is
What are you
every
doing,
day.
Greer?
I know.
We're just lucky that the lights didn't go out because when that happens,
No,
JT has
don't
to get a
even-
broom to
The
turn them
broomstick's
back
definitely
on.
coming out.
Well, that's
now
when
that you said
when the people change the set with
Yes.
all black leotards on.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they come out and they do some kind of interpretive dance
movie.
about Marvel movies. Speaking of Marvel movies,
What does the interpretive dance for this Marvel story look like, Roth?
oh, you're not going to make me do that, but I really almost did. So people are pretty hot on Twitter because there was an image released. Oh, it's hot. It's hot on Twitter because there was an image released of Evangeline Lilly's Wasp costume from Ant-Man and the Wasp. And come on, Dan, it's a penis. It's a penis. Come on. It is absolutely a dick. But I want to hear everybody else's thoughts. I'm not mad at it. Somebody took it up.
I mean, I must say, on the reversal, it is more apparent to me.
Yeah, if you turn it upside down, yes.
Look, I appreciate that they were trying to make a wasp on her, but at some point, some intern needed to speak up and just be like, "Hey guys, I don't want to shake up the boat here, but that looks kind of like a cock." Like someone, I mean, how much time and effort went into designing that costume, and no one was like, is the costume designer just like a very hard person to work with? And so everyone's just like, if we tell him it's a dick, we're fired. Like,
Well, all they needed was a couple patches of gold on the sides, even a little pattern of gold or some mesh of that really highlighted the gold would make that blackness makes it a very tumescent shape. That blackness on the sides.
yeah.
So just make that part gold, and they would have
Wasp it
solved
up
their
a
problem.
little more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wasp it up.
Yeah, just wasp it up.
This is an audition. Can you wasp it up
Yeah,
more?
which is on my family's coat of arms. Wasp it up.
Dan.
I'm glad people have time in their hands to do these things. Good for you. I'm very happy for you that this crucial and vital story was cracked and uncovered.
The truth is out there, Dan.
Truth is out there. And
And
it's
so are the dicks.
truth is out there, and it's a dick.
The dick truth.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's talk about. I just think it's really funny, and there are so many other things to get upset about that it does delight me that this is a thing, that is a hashtag. But it also brings up this idea, like breastplate armor in general is a discussion often in superhero movies and other movies. And you can look at different examples in terms of like Captain Phasma for Power Rangers, where it's very prominent in this image. And then versus like Captain Phasma, where it's a flat breastplate, or even Brienne of Tarth, Gwendolyn Christie is the key to all things. But I had read an article, and then also the Amazonian warriors in Wonder Woman were highly praised for being realistic. It's hard to know. There weren't Amazonian warriors, so they were deriving.
Did they have legitimate Amazon warrior armor?
No, they were
Historically accurate.
Did they do their research and find out what the
God Killer looked
Amazon
exactly
armor
like it did.
looked like?
Yeah.
They were.
Roman.
Yeah.
What would have been used?
Roman
And the
soldiers.
Romans were real. Yeah.
And they were riding dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I've been to the Ark Museum in my home state.
Oh, God. There is, though, I had read an article a number of years ago about that and sort of why they were theorizing that it would kill you to wear that. And one of the reasons, there's a number of reasons. One, I've never worn armor, but this person had obviously done several Ren fairs and had done that work for us. And it apparently, like, you get really hot. It's really cold when it's cold out. It makes you sweat. And so they're padded underneath the armor to the point that the shape would basically go away, and so there would be no need to have the indentation once you were patted down in order to insulate from the cold and heat of the armor. And then two, like the point of the armor is so that the sword will go off, will like slide off of the armor, but
Not get trapped in your boobs.
not get trapped in your boobs.
So it
right?
goes up into your throat?
So if it's
A booby trap.
indented, it will either,
This guy.
yeah, exactly. So if it's indented that way, it's basically a perfect path to get you right here,
Wow.
or to otherwise kill you. And then three is that if you're hit hard enough, the indent would go into your breastplate and potentially break it, killing you, or puncturing your lungs. So there's like not a ton of logic to it.
Well,
Dan has a counter
I'm
argument.
curious because I didn't read the article, and so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage. So correct me if this has been covered, and I apologize. But did the article take into account what would happen when the person wearing this obviously unrealistic armor would take the secret serum that allowed them to shrink to the size of an insect and fly around and command other insects?
How does
know,
that
Or was
affect
that not
your
taken
body?
into
You're
account
gonna be surprised.
in this comprehensive analysis of what the armor would
I
act
think
like
this
in reality?
article was in 2013, so
Well,
it's before
I-
Amazon
oh,
and
well,
Wasp. that
even
we're
in
talking
2013,
about.
how did Mythbusters miss this?
Yeah.
This is a grand opportunity for them to do.
Let me ask this question. What if you went the other way? And what if you made the boob armor so insanely over the top and ridiculous, no one could reach you with their weapons?
So it was just Fembot.
Yeah, what if you
Just
just
like
full
full,
fembot,
like-
and if Roth's coming at me with a sword from here, I could just go, ha! And she's on the ground. Like, what if you go the other way?
What if the boob armor, like the Fembots, either... Well, the Fembots actually shot bullets, but this was just like shoot darts, or a sword comes out
You could
magically.
even like look if you're a lady knight back in the day and you have big enough boob armor, your squires could sit inside the boob armor with spears and just go ha.
Well, I was thinking more like guys on the sides would pull like a crossbow sort of thing that would shoot the boobs off like Transor Z robots, like as a last resort, as like a nuclear resort in your medieval
exactly.
engagement.
Our last stand is here. Yeah, for England. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just, it's more practical design.
Yeah. Look, if it's gonna be there, it should be useful.
Yeah.
Now that we've fully explored the world of breasts and penises, let's talk about MoviePass. We like to talk about MoviePass around here. Do you have MoviePass, Ed?
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I don't think this season of movies, besides like Star Wars and some very obvious things, I can't watch these movies. I don't like them that much. A movie a day. I want to go during a period where I want to see a movie a day. That's when I'm going to get MoviePass. When I want to see a movie a day, I'm just going to kill it during that period. That's kind of how I want to
This
do
wasn't
it.
your movie a day year?
This was
No.
MoviePass is made for January.
Oh, yeah.
See
Yeah.
all
Well-
kinds of things.
Well,
get
I also get some screeners, so whatever.
I mean, things like the commuter.
Yeah.
I went to see, totally guilt free. Didn't feel bad.
I would agree with
no
that.
financial impact to me. I made
Right.
I made money.
Yeah.
I made money seeing the commuter. I saved myself $7 by going to see Liam Neeson on a train.
Could MoviePass, in that sense, be our new Bitcoin? Is this our new cryptocurrency? Where it's
Maybe.
like, I made money seeing Gerard Butler, man.
Yeah.
That goes in my bank.
I will confess that I have screener envy. And I think this is the important time for me to announce that we are new best friends.
Well, thank you for that facile attempt.
Call me I'm a really great best friend. You can talk to me about anything, anytime. I will be there for you. All I ask in return is access to your screeners. Library checkout. I'll return it in 2 days.
Yeah,
2 days.
We'll talk. I don't want them to come down on me. This is the worst drug deal ever. Do it on television.
This is a great open negotiation of literal illegal activity that I've ever seen on the internet.
So MoviePass, we've been talking a lot about this financial model and how they're going to make money, and there's probably a number of different revenue streams, none of which are basically what they do, which is they buy a ton of movie tickets and then they let people go basically for free, one a month, right? Like they pay you pay $10 a month,
yes.
and then you can go to a number of different movies. So how does this work? One of the things that we've talked about is it's owned by a data mining company, so that they could be doing that to sell the data and the information back to studios and things like that. But here's another one. And then we talked about marketing, where they got paid to market I, Tonya, basically, and then they pushed it out to viewers, saw an increase, and that was leading them to this. They want to go into the business of financing movies. So basically the model would be they're going to co-finance a movie and then heavily promote that movie on their platform, hopefully driving up the viewership of that film. Dan has thoughts.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the math on this.
Okay.
Because if they're co-financing a movie, they're putting money into the production of the movie.
Right. So they're doing Wolf Warrior 3.
So they're financing whatever, this $10 million indie or co-financing. And then they push it to their users to go see that movie, but they're pushing it to people that have MoviePass, who you're thinking are going to use MoviePass to then go see the movie. But if they use MoviePass to go see the movie that MoviePass financed, the MoviePass is not only paying to finance the movie, they're also paying for you to go see the movie, which they're losing money on almost every time. So the money's coming out of a different part of their company and going into a separate part, but I think I think it would have to be co-financed with somebody else, because they're technically losing money usually when you use MoviePass. So if they're marketing a movie that they themselves I get it if someone else financed it because they're paying you to market their movie, but if they're pushing you to go see as a MoviePass user a movie that they financed. Yeah. They're paying it from there.
This is a money laundering scheme. You just cracked it. Oh my! This is like Yoshinoya. This is a money laundering scheme. Oh my God! You just broke it. This guy Rorschach the whole shit. Get away from it.
I actually have a guess. I have a guess on how this could work. This is just a guess that I'm coming up with right now as I talk. It's happening. Okay, so if they co-finance a film with another company and then a studio gets the distribution rights to that film, then the studio is going to pay them. So they're basically getting paid for the movie that they co-financed in order to help the marketing of that film, because the partnership is perhaps already in place and there's relationships there. So the distributor would maybe pay them to help market the film and drive theater tickets. Now, when back in the day, I worked for distribution for a hot minute for documentaries. And a lot of times there would be a small theatrical release for documentaries that worked as advertising for home video sales. So that if they drive up awareness of the movie, through their base, which is probably heavy movie goers that go out and crow about movies to other people, then that may drive up awareness so that the people that don't heavily go out to movies or use MoviePass but maybe will watch it at home are aware of the film, and then maybe will buy it or rent it.
And also holdouts like myself. I mean, we paid, me and Clee went to go see Star Wars. We bought tickets early. They were like $18 or some crazy stuff. And we could have done that, obviously, on some level with different passes or whatever. But I am such a jerk that I don't only want to see a couple movies. So they get people like me who are dumb and don't want to join MoviePass. Those are gravy now because they got the fries, so to speak, that are from all these people. But also, it is co-financing. So it's mitigating risk. And anything that mitigates risk makes more production going. So I get their boom or bust activities right now. I get it, but I think they might be right. It might fall apart in the end. It might be
Well, it just depends on
Edsel
what's
of distribution
the balance.
platforms.
Like if only MoviePass people go to see it, then that's bad. But
Right.
if they get a wider audience, that's good. Ancillary, revenue streams and home video and like obviously that doesn't come out of their back end. I can't figure out if MoviePass is making it up as they go along and they're going to be out of business in 6 months, or if they're playing like the most advanced game of three-dimensional chess that I have ever seen in the entertainment. Like, have they cracked this thing?
But think about what their goals must be, because you know what I think it is. It's a tool of big theater, as it were.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously trying to keep the theater going experience alive.
Yeah.
And as long as it accomplishes that particular goal, I think this whole shit is a lost leader. I think all of this is a lost leader. As long as they can keep people engaged in theater going culture, they win.
Yeah.
The popcorn guys win. The horrible
Big
hot dog
popcorn.
guys. Yeah, big popcorn, big horrible hot dog, big horrible candy.
salted
They're all in it together.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with big
man.
salt. Yeah, big salt is.
Big salt.
You don't want to mess
Mess
with
with
big
you
salt.
back.
Big
Hashtag
nitrate.
big salt.
Big nitrate is not something that you want to mess with.
I mean, I think it is interesting, and I would love to be in some of those meetings to hear about what the actual financial plan is, because we're just making guesses about how are you making money, or how do you plan to make money? What's the long-term goal here? So I think it will be fun to see in the next couple of years if this is still around.
I mean, the person who pitched this had bigger balls than the Wasp costume.
Those are really big balls. Those are really big balls. Dan is why?
Can we invite someone from MoviePass to come on the show and talk to us about MoviePass?
That would be cool, actually.
We could
That would
invite
be
them, but the truth is, like, whenever you want people to tell the truth, the truth is the truth. You have to go through a proxy.
Sure.
You have to go through somebody that's not risking their
Oh,
job.
yeah.
So, like, you're never going to get an executive.
We're gonna
to
get
tell you
like
the
their
truth.
Ronald McDonald to
Yeah,
come in
exactly.
and be like, "Hey kids!" yeah, I get that.
You have to go through
Movie
like
clown.
Movie clown.
those
Press
sound
1
so
for
scary.
nightmares. Press 2 for.
It's me, Sass, MoviePass clown.
Well, a movie that's coming out this weekend that I feel like Dan probably will see with his MoviePass, and we should all see as well, is 12 Strong. It's starring Chris Hemsworth, and our own Danielle Radford went and interviewed Chris Hemsworth and asked him about his favorite battle sequence. Let's take a look. And Michael Pena.
What is your favorite battle scene of all time?
Ooh, I think
Braveheart.
Braveheart is pretty good.
What do you think is your favorite war movie?
12 Strong.
12 Strong. What is your second favorite war movie?
Saving Private Ryan.
The opening 30 minutes of Saving Private Ryan is pretty good.
And Tremont Rose.
Okay.
That was cut off super early, but Saving Private Ryan was up there as a favorite in terms of battle sequences. What do you think? And
Yeah,
then
I
Chris
mean-
Hemsworth liked Braveheart.
Yeah, it's tough to say like favorite because like Saving Private Ryan is amazing. It's an incredibly visceral sequence. So it's like it's hard to say that's my favorite. Like it's amazing. It's
Right.
so well done. But it's
Right.
I tend to kind of go toward if I'm thinking like what's my favorite battle sequences. I go more toward the Hemsworth thing of just like Braveheart is just so well done, but it doesn't quite have the same kind of like. It's just hard to look at Saving Private Ryan and be like, oh wow, that's awesome, like because it's
Right.
just so closely still now tied to history. And I think when
Yeah.
you go further, if you go into like sci-fi, like I think if you do like space battles and stuff like that, it's not a battle, but I've always loved in Star Trek Scenes of Wrath of Khan. There's a great. I guess you could call it a battle scene, but it's this like game of like chess in this nebula that Khan and Kirk are playing, and they actually do something that they never do in space movies, which is that they realize that there's a z-axis.
Yeah.
Because usually in space there's like two ships like this.
Yeah.
And there's like they're floating above each other, and then it comes up from behind, and it's like it's not like a huge epic sequence, but it's a great like kind of like two brilliant minds trying to kind of figure each other out. Plus there's like all this interference, so they can't even really see each other. I don't know, it's great. I like it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Favorite battle sequence? Let me think. Maybe Dirk Diggler's versus Johnny Doe in the third act of Boogie Nights.
Sure.
I think they have a fight by the pool. You guys aren't talking about. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that works.
I'm sorry. Basically, I think I err on the side of classics like Saving Private Ryan affected me a lot because it was like, I was at an age when I saw that, I was like, you can't be scared of anything anymore. Because you're not some fucking Kozlowski getting shot to pieces behind a big iron thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At 17, you're not that type of guy. You're living a nice fat life in California, having a good time. So don't be scared of anything. This is real fear. This is real horror. And that's why I want my battle sequences to make me never want to go to war. Full Metal Jacket, the insidiousness of that sequence where it's just like they're getting sniped and they don't know where it's coming from. When they finally get to it, it's somebody you don't even want to kill. Even after all that, you're just like, oh my God, this is like some dude's daughter who's just mad that her country's being taken over by assholes. And you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just that to me, that affects me, you know? So that affects me a lot more than like, I also, if I'm going for visceral or just have fun, I like Starship Troopers. A lot of the scenes in Starship Troopers are just amazing. And they got across the violence and the hell of war, but also the comedy of, what are you dying for, you dumbasses? Yeah. You know, you're fighting bugs with M16s. You know? so yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's a great commentary. It's afraid. It's a brilliant commentary on war and the fascism of war culture and all that kind of jazz. But they put a bunch of Beverly Hills 90210 faces in it, so it camouflages the whole thing. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah. So yeah, Starship Troopers, Saving Private Ryan.
It's crazy that people miss the point of that
movie for so long.
a
lot of votes for Ryan right
now.
I'm going to go Black Hawk Down, which is one of my favorite war movies. The cinematography and sound design of that movie are just incredible. There's a sequence close in the third act in particular. I haven't seen it in a little while. But that whole movie just builds tension. You know, it's this, I don't know if you've seen it in a while or not, but it's about, you know, this part of the military that shouldn't have been there. They're outgunned. They have no business being there. The country doesn't want them there. And one small thing goes wrong, and then it just escalates, and the whole movie just escalates and escalates and escalates. And finally, somewhere in the third act, where everybody's just screwed, it's nighttime, everyone's hunkered down in these two buildings across from each other. The military finally gets its act together and just sends just one pass of air support, and it's like the first, and this little bird comes in and just opens fire and just lets a couple of guys just not be afraid they're about to die for like 20 seconds. And it's just a beautifully shot sequence. It's the first like moment of release in the movie. After just like an hour and a half of just nothing but Orlando Bloom and his bad Texas accent falling off a helicopter and dying. But it's a really just fantastically shot sequence. One of Ridley Scott's best movies, I think. I'll fight it.
I'll fight that for sure. Because are we going all the way back? We're going to Blade Runner?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
and
me.
And Alien.
It's a big old me personally.
All
but,
right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think it's fantastically shot.
Beautiful. So that is, we now have for Saving Private Ryan, Michael Pena, Trevante Rhodes, and Ed. Black Hawk Down, Star Trek.
Well, now I just sound trivial.
No, you don't. Why?
I don't know.
Well, he used 3D space. You don't understand.
It's such not in the same league as those two.
The Z-axis. Don't you? No, I totally agree with you, though. They never think about the depth of space, and most of these movies, Star Trek Last Jedi included, don't think about the fact that there's no gravity in space. So there's a lot of different magnetic things you can do. There's fuel. If you're going fast enough and you dump like a mercury load out the back of your ship, it could freeze into droplets of just Makabishi doom that would just rip through the ship that's behind you. You drop a bunch of lead and some gelatinous thing that freezes. Now you got some gravity shit happening on their ship. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's super.
And my favorite thing about you is that every sentence you say has at least 3 really good mixtape titles in it. That is my favorite thing about you.
I'm gonna drop them.
I think those are all great choices. I would agree with them. I mean, Saving Private Ryan, I think that battle sequence is so iconic, and it's what makes that movie. It's what makes that movie what it is in my mind, and why it had the impact that it did. But I will say that on television, Game of Thrones does a pretty great job with battle sequences, and the one from Serpent Formation, Rickon. That battle when it was based on a real battle. A lot of what he did has been based on like real battles and medieval events. The one where they circled them and they kept pushing. Do you know what I'm talking
The
about?
Battle
The
of the
episode?
Bastards.
The Battle of the
Yeah,
Bastards.
Bastards.
God, I can't believe I can remember that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then they were, to me, because you were placed into the battle so directly, and you felt how you were able to get that feeling of claustrophobia and hopelessness, and total overwhelm and the chaos of it, and just not even knowing where to go or what to do or how to get, like, there's no way out of that.
Yeah.
And in the reality, every single one of them was killed to a man in that battle. And can you imagine dying that way? So that for me was placed me so much into the feeling, of exactly like, this is not a situation I would ever. No one should be in that situation ever.
Right.
I thought it was so well executed.
I think we'd be better people if more battle sequences were depicted like that, where it's like, this is super bad.
Yeah, let's not ever do this.
No good for anybody.
No one
guys.
should ever do this again.
Yeah, don't talk this up. Don't threaten North Korea on a whim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Because pretty soon we're all going to get in a circle and just become a pile of stuff.
dude,
Yeah.
and
A pile of dudes.
people think they're John Wayne, but they're really that dude that got stabbed really slow in
And
Saving
Saving
Private
Private
Ryan. They think they're John Wayne, but they're really that guy.
Yeah.
Fubar.
Anyway, fan questions. Those are our favorite battle sequences. What are yours? 12 Strong opens this weekend, and we thank you, Danielle, for going to that junket for us. You did a wonderful job. You can also see some of what Danielle talked to the cast about on Movie Fights, which aired yesterday, and it's really a fun one. Yes?
Allison Carlson.
Yeah, Ellis and Carlson. It was a great fight. So if you haven't seen it yet, go back and check that out. If for no other reason, to find out who Chris Hemsworth said he would bring into battle with him, and Michael Pena, and one of them involves a shark. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fan questions. Delisha asks, looking at vacation spots for this year, congratulations. So I want to, one, ask what's been your favorite vacation, and two, what's your dream vacation?
Wow.
Well, I don't go on vacation because I'm too busy churning out hot content for you guys on a daily basis. You're welcome.
Frying it up like a...
My dream vacation is I just want to
Frying
go
looks-
full dork and do a full-on Holy Grail tour, King Arthur Holy Grail tour of like Cornwall and England. I want to hang out on every dumb hill that's been called like King Arthur's throne or what. Like that's what I want to do. I want to do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks, a Eurail pass. That's my dream.
Yeah?
Yep.
What happens when they merge with MoviePass?
Move your rail.
Real.
Move your rail. You can watch his unlimited movies on the train, including the commuter. Hey. I love Europe. I went there a couple times during college. Haven't had a chance to go back. Would love to see it again with a little time, and it's the kind. I love that it's a continent largely on which you can travel without solid plans, and it's accessible in such a way that you can just sort of make it up as you go if you want to, or you can do the whole thing. But I like the idea of like, go to Italy, and you get Ryanair. It's like $30 to fly to Switzerland or wherever. I don't know, or at least they did. Maybe they don't anymore. But yeah, I would love to take just like a little nice, cozy European vacation. That would be fun.
That sounds real good.
How about you? Do you have a favorite one that you've been on?
I just don't want to go anywhere poor.
Okay.
Like, because you're on a boat or something, you're trying to have fun, and there's a bunch of thatched huts 4 feet from you, and you're just like, how can I have fun? I'm having such imperialist fun.
Like, look at the culture.
It's like, I don't want to look at the culture. It's bumming me out, bro. I'm gonna go into the movie theater. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do that. My mom just went on a South American vacation, and she was like, dude, sincerely, it bummed me out. My mom talks like that. Anyway, so I would think, I think that I would like to go to Japan. Just to be 5 years in the future, like instantly, like as soon as I get off the plane, just to be like to see that sort of stuff. But also, there are parts of like there's parts of Africa that I'd like to see, and not in a white hunter way to go look at animals or anything. I would like to just kind of
pull up the hat though.
Yeah, I want to go get that nice. That weird feeling that a lot of black people get when they go to Africa or whatever, or like white people get when they go to Scotland. Certain sort of way. You know what I mean? It's like, this is where.
Is that me going to Ireland?
Yeah. It's like, this is where I filmed Outlander. You know what I mean? You get that hands on hips Superman feeling. You know what I mean? I would love to do that. So yeah.
I've been to Scotland. It's true. I'm a Macintosh. That actually is, I am. My family is Clan Macintosh, which is exciting for no one but me. I haven't done a lot of, I mean, I've been very fortunate in life, period, but like I haven't done a lot of vacation and travel on like for myself, just a little bit more in the recent years, but I've been super lucky to travel for work. Quite a bit. And that's just been one of the greatest blessings in my entire life. I love traveling. It is my favorite thing. It's probably what kept me in this field because I was like, wait, I get to like go places. And then I'll extend for a day or two to kind of look around. But I don't really have a favorite. I just, they've all been so amazing. And each one blows my mind more than the last that I'm able to see these things. But I have gone to some places that are for work that are impoverished and it is painful for sure, but it's also very like eye-opening, and I actually think that's important travel too for me. Damn, I totally turned this fun question into a bummer.
I did it first,
sorry.
to be fair.
I'm like,
Set the bummer train a rolling.
I'm sorry.
Denzel Washington and Chris Pine are going to stop the
She's got
bummer
the
train.
dick on her costume.
I'm so sorry. But I gotta be honest, you guys are so restrained and lovely in what you're wishing for. I want a world tour. I mean, if we're making wishes here, then I'm just wealthy and a baller and I live on an island and then I travel and I eat. That's my dream.
My actual super dream would be like I would love to just go to like if I got big enough in any sort of entertainment field to do like the Jerry Seinfeld thing, like he went to go see like every single comedian that ever influenced him and befriended them. That's the super rich people tour. You know what I mean? You go to all the people who inspired you and you befriend them. It's like, yeah, Steve Martin's my buddy.
That's
it's
like
what? Yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna fantasize, let's fantasize.
Yeah.
Like let's do the real.
I want to kick it at
fantasy tour.
Skywalker Ranch just in my underwear eating popcorn. I'm so comfortable and he just loves me so much. Yeah.
I always have like a next thing on my list that I really want to do, like the bucket list things. And so my next 3 bucket list things are the following. I really want to see the Aurora Borealis. Desperately. So before it goes away, I guess it's like potentially not going to be as available in the next 5 years. So in Iceland or just universe, Alaska for the Aurora Borealis. I really, really want to go to Italy because I've never been to Italy. And I'd also like to see the cherry blossoms in Japan. So, you know, if anybody's out there and you want to provide vacations for us, those are a list of wishes.
Yeah.
We weren't meant. I think we could probably do one more question. I'm so sorry. Jonathan asks, what is your favorite sports movie? Mine is Remember the Titans. P.S. Who would you like to see compete in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks? It's the Jaguars versus the Vikings. I don't know much about sports ball, so I'll defer to you guys.
Sports ball. Well, we know who JT wants to see.
Yeah, you know.
Wouldn't that be an interesting sports story?
Well, who's JT want to see?
The Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of strong up-and-comers sort of competing in the Super Bowl or sort of in contention. Obviously, Roman Reigns is probably, you know, solid, odds-on favorite. Although, you know, I also love what Jason Jordan's doing on Monday Night Raw right now. That weird sort of daddy's boy character is really great. And also, you know, the Revival's back. You know, one of the best tag teams currently in the Billy business. So, you know, who knows?
I don't know what any of that was.
I thought my Dirk Diggler joke was a deep cut.
That sounded to me what I imagine I sound like to you guys every time I speak. It was just full Charlie Brown. I got nothing. Do you have a team in sports ball that you like?
You know, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I root for anybody that's not supposed to win. I think it's just part of me. If you're not supposed to win, I'm on your side. Yeah. I'm definitely on your side. Rebels and of any, you know, of most stripes. Anyway, I really think that I would like for the Jaguars to win just to like piss everybody off in the continental United States outside of Florida, because like the Jaguars are like they've been a joke forever, and if they won, it would be amazing.
I'm into that.
Do you want the Jaguars?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I do. I love an underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jaguars would be a great underdog story to make that kind of run through the playoffs, to go through the Steelers, to go through the Patriots. To the Super Bowl. Like that's just a great sports story.
And
but
Blake
it's
Bortles,
probably going to be the boring ass
right.
same narrative that's been the same narrative the last 10 years because that's how life works.
And Blake Bortles has been shitted on so much.
Yeah.
He literally is a running joke on The Good Place. They make Blake Bortles jokes.
I watched
the way
that show, and that's.
Yeah, but he's just sort of a big goofy guy, and people like I guess they love the Tom Brady invincible Superman voted for Trump type. You know what I mean? They love those people more than a just big party guy like Blake Bortles. I want to see Blake Bortles win.
Yeah, just
Period.
a big jovial.
Yeah. Just I'm having fun. I'm 25 and I'm making millions of dollars throwing a freaking ball around. A guy who acknowledges that's a fracture in fucking reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Do you think that he'll send us on vacation? No.
Maybe.
The Jaguars and the
rooting for you.
Vikings. The Jaguars and the Vikings is objectively the most interesting Super Bowl storyline
Yes.
because the Vikings won on a miracle last-second play to get to the NFC Championship game, and the Jaguars, who again haven't been in the playoffs in 15 years,
Yes.
going to the Super Bowl. Like that's objectively the more interesting story, which means it's not going to be the matchup that we want. It's just gonna be another.
Favorite sports movies?
I like Caddyshack. I like Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I like Happy Gilmore.
I love
think
Happy
that's
Gilmore.
a really funny comedy that gets lumped in with the rest of
Yeah,
Adam
I
Sandler's
love
Yes.
that. I
stuff.
love
They're
I
Happy
agree.
cut
Gilmore.
above. to me.
Happy Gilmore, there's a qualitative difference between Happy Gilmore and the rest of that shit. There really, really
Yeah,
is.
there absolutely is. I don't know anything about sports ball. I don't watch sports ball, but I randomly and very weirdly love sports movies. And I will go see all the sports movies. I will binge that Friday Night Lights because it has a structure that I know by the end of it, I'm going to feel good. And I
because
like
it's
that
also,
structure.
It's just highlight reels.
Yeah.
Sports movies are just the highlight reels. No timeouts. No, it's just it's like watching a compilation of sickest tackles, and you're like, awesome.
Yeah.
I love The Natural, though. I mean, I love some of those classics. I also loved Moneyball a few years ago. I felt which is a very different kind of sports movie. It's like a sports and numbers movie. It could not have been more awesome.
Sports math.
Yeah.
It was like sports math. I was so into it.
Yeah. No, I my favorite sports movie of all times. There's a couple. I like Hoosiers.
Yeah.
But I'm the only person rooting for the inner city team because I'm just like, you're so physically superior. Just pass the ball 3 times before you shoot. Just pass the ball 3 times before you shoot. You will murder these kids. You will dunk the corn out of their asses. Come on, please pass the ball. And so I'm rooting for the Monstars, basically. You know what I mean? So I like that for that reason. But also I do like Blue Chips. It's a really, really underrated, criminally underwatched movie. It had Nick Nolte in his prime, and he was just wonderful as this coach who was finding these kind of troubled, I just want to go to the NBA, give my mom a Range Rover, I'll come to your stupid school type kids, and he built a whole super squad with these kids, and he got to the championship game or whatever, and he just felt like a piece of shit for cheating the system, cheating these kids out of an education, being part of this system that basically chews these kids up, and next thing you know, they're criminals or they're broke or they're homeless because they never got any education. Once their knee goes out, their life goes out.
Yeah.
And he's participating in the system, and he's just at a press conference, towards the end, and he just breaks down how that system is broken. He doesn't want to be part of it anymore. And that, again, I guess I want to see my sports movies have a little realism. And that isn't very realistic, by the way. That's an idealistic thing. I would love for somebody to do that, to admit that they're part of a broken system.
Jerry
Are we
Maguire
counting-
is a great sports
That's
movie.
a
Yeah,
good sports
yeah, I
movie.
agree. Very much.
I love Jerry Maguire. Love that movie.
Are we counting Hoop Dreams? Documentaries?
Yeah, Hoop Dreams is a great. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Above the Rim for a minute.
Okay.
No, so here's a movie.
Great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. Here's a movie that's not good. It's like watching a weird train wreck, but for some reason, if it is on, I will always watch it, and that is Adam Sandler's remake of The Longest Yard. Yep.
JT waiting for us.
It is
from the
an
moon.
objectively bad film. From scene to scene, you just go, what? But for some reason, it's so entertaining. Like the last The last line of the movie is literally pro wrestler Bill Goldberg, who is a very minor character in the film, like walking off screen and yelling, "Who gives a shit?" And that's the last line of the movie. And it is an objectively, from scene to scene, bad film.
JTE is losing
that
it
I'm
in
obsessed
there.
with.
He is so upset right
Well,
now.
that sound that JTE made when you said the longest yard was the sound that I made during the second half of last year's Super Bowl. Ugh.
I'm laughing. I don't know
So
what
now
that
you know
means.
how we feel, JTE.
Well, another one that you guys should watch that if you've never watched is Warrior. I love that movie. It came out around the same time as The Fighter, and it kind of got drowned out by The Fighter. Yes, is the fighting. The one sport thing that I will watch, two sport thing, UFC and poker. Yeah, the fighting isn't super realistic in that movie. But the emotional truth
Have you
is
seen? If you're
of two brothers.
That's why Rocky works. If you're going by strict fighting,
Yeah.
that fighting is as realistic as that damn shark in Jaws.
Yeah.
But for the same reasons, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite Rocky movie is Rocky 4.
My favorite is Rocky
I
3.
love Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Rocky is objectively a better film. However,
Of course, yeah.
I love Rocky 4.
Well, no,
Three
my
was
favorite's
pretty
Rocky
great.
3. We should movie fight Rocky 3 versus Rocky 4.
3 versus Rocky 4.
they
Let's do
definitely
it.
have
Right.
qualitative
The Rocky edition.
Next
differences.
I'm
movie
game.
fights. What about Creed last year?
If you like MMA and films, have you seen Red Belt?
I haven't.
David Mamet, yeah.
David Mamet, mixed martial arts jiu-jitsu film. It's pretty great.
What?
I highly recommend it. And now I have made up for the longest shark.
Okay,
comment.
thank you very much. I'm gonna check that out. Please join us on Monday, where I will maybe try to get some more of these questions in. And I apologize that we ran out of time today. We will also be talking about our favorite ballet-based movies on next Monday's show.
What are we
I'm
plugging?
kidding. We'll talk about Marvel.
What are we plugging?
The Red Shoes. We are plugging this weekend. You should watch the things. First of all, you guys should watch the movie fight. It's really good. You will enjoy it. It's super funny. It's a great fight. This weekend we are going to have Castaway, which is a new show that we're doing, which is basically like we're fan casting movies. And this time it's the Grown Up Losers Club for it. And Spencer's coming in hot on that one. That's all I'm going to say. Like, it is an especially Spencer moment. Dan reviewed Den of Thieves. You should check
Den of
that out,
Thieves,
which
a
is
movie-
apparently good.
A movie that is not doing well on Rotten Tomatoes right now, but I think it's surprisingly good. I liked it way more than I thought I would, and I think it's worth your time. So you can check out that review. And if you look at the rating on Rotten, this that binary thing again. If you look at the average rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and if you look at what the top critics are saying, it is better than the binary splat tomato number.
There's
would
more
have you say.
nuance
There's
in
more
life?
nuance to review. Believe it or not, there's more nuance to reviews than just
Interesting.
splat.
I would love to see. I would love to see that after 5,000 years we evolve past.
Yeah.
No,
No.
that's our whole world. Like literally everything in life is this or this. But you know what? I give 2 thumbs up to you. Where can the people find you? You've been such a great guest.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to come on a lot. My name's Ed Greer Destroys on Twitter. So at Ed Greer Destroys on Twitter, Instagram, all the different things. And I even have a edgreerdestroys.com Tumblr that has a bunch of my art on it. I like to draw and I like to do comedies. And I'm working on a scripted television show that hopefully will come out sometime this year and it'll be super hot.
So you're taking us on vacation?
Oh yeah,
Is
definitely.
all I'm hearing from
We're
that.
going to Marin County.
Pack your bags. Stick with me, kids. It's been so wonderful to have you here today. Joe Starr.
Hi, I'm Joe Starr, dude. Seconded. I'm so pumped you're here, man. You're one of my favorite dudes. Follow this guy on Twitter. He's one of the funniest people in this city. And
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dan Murrell.
I felt like I already said my goodbyes.
Well, then goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's been so good to see you today. Thank you. It's Friday.
Friday.